All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Chris Crenshaw. We are live. All right, we are live from the 704 once again for episode 258 of the 815 Exchange. All right, and welcome. All right, welcome. For those of you that are new to a channel, which might be a considerable amount of you, because that last reaction video just did numbers. All right, that is already, I think, my second most viewed video. Might be the first by the time you're watching this. All right, so if you're new and you want to check out the sports section of this channel, welcome. All right, we also talk a little bit about entertainment and, other music, but, all right, mostly sports here. So welcome. All right, we have a lot of fun here too. But, all right, as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. You guys enjoying the content. And as always, all right, everything you're looking for in this life can be found in my description, timestamps. If you want to skip ahead to anything you want to hear me talk about Superman, all right, was it good? Was it worth the hype? All right, the 15,000 albums that came out. You want to hear me talk about the W? Jannik Sinner beating Carlos Alcaraz. What are my feelings on that? Whatever it is. All right, timestamps provided in the video, also in my description. Same thing with my social media links in the description, also in the outro. But without further ado, we've got things to attend to. And before we talk Wimbledon, before we talk entertainment, before we even talk about the W this week, let's talk about the fight game. Yes, combat sports. It wasn't nothing crazy this week. It wasn't nothing crazy, to be honest with you, but it was just enough that I had to make it an actual subject. All right, and starting with the UFC, we had a fight night headlined by Derrick Lewis taking on Teixeira, and it was another classic Black Beast versus prized potential heavyweight contender, prized potential heavyweight for the prospect. What is going to happen? He keeps killing off all the prospects. I mean, Dana might take issue with it at this point. He really might take issue with it at this point because Derrick Lewis keeps killing off the heavyweight prospects. He is the premier gatekeeper in that division. All right? Be Black Beast, you might get a title shot. If not, you're going to get knocked out. And for the 16th time in Derrick Lewis's career, he collects a KO here over Teixeira, and yeah, just brutal. First round, it's not looking good for his stock. All right, just another big. I don't want to call him a big oaf, but it feels like another classic gimmick of maybe this guy has potential, and then we found him a Black Beast, and he got brutally KO'd, so now he's going to fall back into the shuffle. That's what this feels like to me. But yeah, Black Beast does it again. UFC 318, of course, is next week, which is very, very big deal because it is Dustin the Diamond Poirier's last fight. He's taking on Max Holloway for the BMF. Of course, it's the third time, all right, Max and Dustin will have fought. Dustin is up 2-0. And we're going to talk about trilogies where somebody's up 2-0 and how that went this weekend. But yeah, we'll see. Max, of course, coming off that knockout loss versus Iga. It's going to be interesting to see if Max is still that guy or if that took something out of Max. So yeah, we're going to see. I'm not going to make a prediction, but yeah, hopefully we get a good scrap for the Diamond's last go down. It would be nice for Max to, of course, not, get knocked out here and to get that one win and add to his legacy. But we'll see. All right, we'll see. Not a crazy card. I'm going to be honest with you. That's the headliner. And if that's the headliner, that kind of tells you what this is kind of like I don't want to say filler, but it's a filler card. All right, this is a filler major card. Okay, it's nothing crazy. I got a bunch of championship fights. It's literally, that's the big fight. And the co-main is Paulo Costa versus Kroylov. So that'll be very interesting. Or Kopylov, excuse me. I'm interested to see how Paulo's going to come out. What version of him we're going to see. Or if Kopylov can continue to, continue to build his prospectus, continue to build this run maybe to a middleweight title shot. We'll see. All right, we'll see. Middleweight's kind of loaded right now. But that is UFC 318. We'll talk about that more for episode 259. Let's talk about boxing, like I said. All right. Listen, I know Claressa Shields is supposed to be the G-Woke, but we got to talk about Katie Taylor. All right, after what we saw on Friday, we got to mention Katie Taylor in that same breath. All right, I'm sorry. And Amanda Serrano, all-time great as well, but she just did not have enough, and she just did not do enough in this fight. All right, the first two were classics. 2 fight of the year, regardless of male or female. 2 fight of the year contenders, the previous 2 fights. Absolute bangers, close fights. This one started off close, but then it just felt like they tried to go for a different type of not as much of like a slugging brawl that the first 2 and what made those classics. And they try to make it more of like a boxing match. But Katie Taylor's just a better boxer than Amanda Serrano. And that's what you saw in this fight. Katie was just a better boxer. I mean, there were so many 1-2s that just hit nothing but air. And I was just like, it feels like a lot of, like, it's like a mirror match. It felt like a lot of, like, you're fighting into a mirror, it felt like, for Serrano. And that game plan just did not work. I think she got some bad advice from her corner as well. And yeah, it just never felt, she took some rounds, sure, but it never felt like she was doing enough to, like, go and take the undisputed crown. And yeah, Taylor, handled business at the end, landed the better shots, outboxed her, did what had to be done, all right? One of the greatest women's boxers of all time and a legitimate claim for the greatest title. So yeah, shout out to Kaylee Taylor. If that was it, by the way, for Katie, which that was talked about last fight, maybe being her last, but if this is really it, credit where credit's due, one of the greatest of all time. Of course, that lone loss to Chantel Cameron, she ended up getting that get back. So, all right, shout out to Katie. All right, absolute Irish legend. Other things in boxing, I'm not even going to, glorify with a picture here. Shakur Stevenson handled Zapata to nobody's surprise. Shakur did what he did. Was a bully, handle business, unanimous decision. You can pretty much envision how that went. However, Edgar Berlanga, wow, what a mighty fall from us talking about him as prospect of the year, the knockout streak, to what he is now. Just complete fall off. A complete and utter fall off for Edgar Berlanga. Yeah, talked crazy to Shiraz in the whole build up to this fight. I mean, was talking crazy and got punked. Knocked down 4 times. The last one counts as a KO. So, yeah, that was it. Berlanga gets absolutely embarrassed. All right? Absolutely embarrassed. There's no other way to put it. He got wiped down in this one. So, yeah. I don't know where he goes from there, but, congratulations to Shiraz. That was very satisfying to watch, considering how Edgar talked. I mean, look up the clips. I think Happy Punch posted it on Twitter. Go look up, like, the little montage. It's very satisfying, because Berlanga was an absolute, the entire build up to this fight, and he really didn't need to. It wasn't even the sell. It just left a bad taste in my mouth, so it was very satisfying seeing him get put to the canvas over and over and over and over again. Let's talk about the W. Yes, let's talk about the W. Of course, we finally got that highly anticipated matchup. Paige versus Caitlin, part a million of a million, okay? Not the last time they're going to face off. Not the first time they faced off. Caitlin has a history of winning these matchups, though, besides Paige winning their freshman year. But this time, Indiana does handle business. It was a blowout, all right? This was simply put, the Fever are a much better team than the Dallas Wings. Paige was fine. Paige was good. She had 21 in this game, very efficient, played like Paige, took her shots, took her opportunities. They need a build around, which, duh. But Arike ain't it. Arike is not, she ain't the one. All right? She ain't the one. I would not be mad if the Wings traded and then just kind of blew this whole thing up. I wouldn't be mad at them if that's the direction they went. Because Paige is it. Paige is a superstar. But you got to get something around her. Right now, she doesn't really got too much around her, especially compared to the Fever. Caitlin, all right? Caitlin is still in purgatory, all right? She's back from injury, but she is still not the same player that we're used to seeing from Caitlin Clark. The shot is still broken. Maybe I'm getting a little worried now. I'm not saying I think that this is going to be her for everything, but right now, Caitlin's shot is broken. She's, again, sure she'll figure it out. She's, again, fantastic player, one of the best players in the world. I'm sure she'll figure it out, but right now those efficiency numbers are horrid. Absolutely horrid. As much as I love Caitlin, as much as we've praised her, we got to be fair here. She hasn't been great this year. She has not been great. Some of that due to injuries and a lot of stop and start, now that her really getting a rhythm like she was able to get into last year and right through some of those struggles. So that could be it. But yeah, it was a better game today, though, and especially defensively. She had 5 steals in this game, had 13 assists. The playmaking's still there. Dealt with some turnovers, but a much better game today. Got to get that shot to fall, though. All right, the All-Star captain, got to get that shot to fall. And if scoring like Caitlin's able to score and shooting better than we're seeing right now, then Indiana becomes a much more dangerous team and becomes that championship contender. But this kind of nullified version of Caitlin, where the shot is currently broken, does put a little bit of a cap. I will say, I think it puts a little bit of a cap on the Fever. We will see. All right, maybe the All-Star break will be good for her. However, Kelsey, Natasha, Aaliyah all had 17 plus in this game, did what had to be done. When Indiana's playing like this, they're a very, very difficult team to beat, much less for a team like the Wings. So yeah, congrats to Kate and Co. They get it done. Not the last matchup though for Caitlyn and Paige. Obviously, they're going to be compared probably till the end of time as two of the faces of the league and two of its best players. Though I cannot wait for all of these guys because I feel like the comparison, by the way, before I talk about Angel and give her flowers, I feel like the comparisons are getting crazy. I mean, which is great because it's showing the league has grown, but also it's getting borderline toxic. And it's been like this for a minute, but like it feels like borderline like obsessive fandomish with kind of the like wars between like players fans right now. Even outside the Caitlyn Angel thing, like now it's like Caitlyn and Paige or Paige versus Angel. Like it's getting kind of crazy. All right, I'm not gonna lie, it's getting kind of crazy. Like I cannot wait for the Olympics next time when all of them are on the same team and y'all all have to like relax. Okay, but nonetheless, Angel's been hooping. Player of the month, player of the week, 6 straight 15 rebound games for Angel Reese. I've said it before, say it again right now, generational rebounder. Feel how you want to feel about it. I know, we've talked about the offensive output, but guess what? She been hooping. 8 straight double-doubles. All right, 8 straight double-doubles. A win yesterday. Skylar playing a little bit better. She's looking like a superstar. All right, she's playing like a superstar. Angel, listen. She gets her flack. Some of it's deserved. Some of it's too much, RG3. But she's playing like a superstar right now. She's playing like that girl. She's playing like, former number 2 overall recruit, right? She's playing like, she's not just a bum. All right, she's not a bum. This is what Angel can be. We'll see if it lasts, but this right now is like a glimpse of what Angel could be at her peak and why she is, such a lot of prospect. So yeah, Angel cooking up, and yeah, continues to stay hot, and that is really, really feeling that Sky team. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for entertainment. Yes, okay. And let's get to it. Superman, straight to it. By the way, spoiler alert. All right, so if you haven't seen Supes for some reason, skip ahead. I'm giving you some time. Skip ahead. Go. Deuces. I'll see you next segment. All right, go. 3, 2, 1. All right. Yeah, Superman. I'm not going to say it was the greatest. Okay, I'm not on that timing. Okay, it was not the greatest DC movie of all time. Was it the best Superman movie of all time? I don't know if I'd say that either. But it was a good movie. It was a very good movie. All right, so shout out to James Gunn. The gun was loaded. Okay, the gun did not jam. All right, the gun did not jam. And obviously it's been super duper well received, which has been really cool to see. But yeah, Lex Luthor, Hater of the Year. All of the casting, I want to give a shout out to the casting choices here, because that is what really made the movie. The chemistry of the cast and then the choices, because the one thing, even though some of it was like, it was a lot in this movie and some of it felt a little clunky at times, the thing that really made this movie is that it got the characters right. It really did get the characters right. The essence of each, even the side characters. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner was perfect. Isabella as Hot Girl, it worked. Mr. Terrific stole the show. I would watch a spin-off of Mr. Terrific in this universe. Jimmy Olsen, ladies man, pulling up with Eve like Jimmy. Loved him in this movie. And then, of course, Rachel and David as Clark and Lois was perfect. It was perfect. He was a great symbol of, like, he felt like this is what Superman, and I loved Henry Cavill. And he was a good Superman, don't get me wrong. But this felt like this is what Superman is supposed to be. This is what Superman and Lois is supposed to be. So yeah, it was a very, very good movie. Lex Luthor, Hater of the Year, though. All right, Nicholas Hoult was the best Lex Luthor of all time, with all due respect to the great Alan Rickman. Nick got it. Okay? He was Hater of the Year. I'm not going to go into specifics, but it was one of the all-time great hating performance in cinema history. Just a pure hater, and I couldn't have it any other way, because that is who Lex Luthor is. That is who he is. So yeah, Superman, very, very good. You also get a Millie Alcock cameo as Supergirl at the end. Her kind of showing up, absolutely blitz, picking up Crypto. That was a lot of fun. I can't wait for that one. We will be watching that one in theaters, showing love to the girl from Rhaenyra. But yeah, all right, very good movie. Shout out to Supes. All right, and the gun was not jammed at all, man. It wasn't jammed. Wireless Fest is going on, and obviously is headlined by the 3 Nights of Drizzy. and it was a movie. I was honestly a little bit sick that I couldn't be there, seeing how lit it was. It was an absolute movie. One of the greatest festival performances we will ever see. We got Lauryn Hill, 21, Lotto, Dave, Cinch, Skepta, K-Trap. That took me for a loop. Rima today, Vibes, Popcan. Like everybody, bro. Sexy Red. I haven't even named everybody. Like, it is crazy. J-Hus. Like, absolutely insane. P&D, Mario, Bobby V, Bryson Tiller. Like, 3 days of that. And he didn't play all of his stuff. He really could go 7 days in a stadium and not run out of hits. And y'all said he was going to fall off. Y'all said he was going to fall off. And then I'm seeing a lot of walk back game. Travis. I don't know y'all's situation. We about to talk about you with your JACKBOYS album. But I'm seeing a lot of walking back. All right, I'm seeing a lot of walking back concerning The Boy with What Did I Miss coming out, which is the #1 song in the country currently. With all due respect to Alex Warren, however, radio is king again, as they say. But, I'm seeing a lot of walking back right now. And what I have to say is, no. If you stay neutral and you respected both sides during that beef, then fine. You can support both. But for some of y'all that was talking crazy online, sucking all type of Compton stay on that side. Nah, straight up, stay on that side. A lot of you influencers, reactors, stay on that side. You was on your knees for Kenny. You was on your knees for 365 days for Kenny, and now The Boy is back and y'all want to be like, oh, you know what, Drake is kind of cooking. No, stay on that side. Get on your knees and suck your king's. Do what you do. You good at that. Stay away. All right? Stay on that side. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, Wireless, generational performance from The Boy. Let's talk about music this week, though. All right? 2 albums we're going to feature. I did not listen to the Clips album because they were doing a little bit too much promotionally. However, I'm sure it was fire. All right? I love the little snippets here. I don't know if I've talked about that on this, but I love the little snippets. I will get around to that eventually. But it felt they rubbed me the wrong way in their promotional tactics, which was unnecessary. Your clips, the music would have sold itself, but y'all did a lot. Y'all really did. You did your big one, and it felt off. But the music, I'm sure, is great, and we'll get around to it, and I'm sure I'll love the album. But the promotions, I just can't support. Justin Bieber is back. All right, Swag, interesting name. I'm gonna give it a 7.9. I'm gonna give JB a 7.9. UConn and Too Long were my standouts. It wasn't journals, all right, but it was some good stuff on here. Some of it I was like, okay, a little bit. We leaning in a little bit too much here, but a lot of good stuff on here. All right, a lot of good stuff on here. Not his greatest album, but still some solid. And literally a day of drop, which was absolutely crazy. JACKBOYS 2 came out last night, which was absolutely insane. Dumbo, and then Contest Feat Sofago. Surprised me, but those are my 2 favorites from JACKBOYS 2. Some good stuff. Travis was in his element, and yeah, one bad. All right, one bad. And getting its promotion. All right, promotion from the Roundup. Ladies and gentlemen, Wimbledon is getting its own primary segment. All right, Wimbledon is getting its own segment. Wimbledon is your main event of the evening here for episode 258 of the 815 Exchange. And well, we got another classic. It wasn't 5 sets this time, but it was still 4, and it still was a really, really, really good match. But ladies and gentlemen, Jannik Sinner. All right, the rivalry is on. All right, I know Carlitos has smoked him repeatedly, but it just felt like, I'm not going to lie, even though it made complete sense for Alcaraz to win today, it just felt like for canonical reasons. Like, this had nothing to do with their play. It just felt like, for the tennis universe, Sinner was going to win this. It just made sense. Even though he literally, if Dimitrov doesn't tear his pec, it's not even here. It's not even here. Carlos probably wins a second straight channel slam. Like, probably done and dusted. But since Jannik made it, since he took care of Novak, it just felt like, the game is built on rivalries, right? Tennis is built on great rivalries. These great periods in tennis are built around stars versus stars, right? In our generation right now, somebody else I'm sure is going to arrive and join the fray. But right now, it's Carlos and Jannik. It's Alcaraz and Sinner. Those are the top dogs. And we've talked about it before with Carlos, right? I believe, and I will stand on that even with the loss today, I think Carlos is the best player in the world. But Carlos's Achilles heel right now, even though he's only 22, so I'm sure this can be amended over time, and that might be the most dominant version of him we see as he continues to get better. But though Sinner, still 23, turns 24 this year, still only going to get better as well. Carlos dips, as we know. He can dip his level. When he's on, he's unstoppable. He cannot be touched. He just has a level that's better than everybody. We've seen him pull it off time after time after time after time again. However, there is one man that can get him when that level dips, when he becomes human. One man that can raise his level, or is just already, should I really, to be honest, say, on that level as Carlos, to where he can make him pay if Carlos is not at his best. That is Jannik Sinner. And Sinner, that's what happened today. Carlos could not. He just was off. And you can't be off against Sinner. Carlos cannot be off against Sinner. And, you know, the creativity was there, but the shots weren't falling, and the confidence was hit, and Sinner is just consistent. He's a machine. Sinner is a machine. Carlos is an artist. But when the painting is not being, it's just not hitting. The lines aren't, it's not creating that masterpiece. The machine's going to win, and that's what happened here today. So yeah, Sinner wins his first Wimbledon. He is now only a French away from the career slam, joining Carlos, who is only an Australian away from a career slam, which makes this so hilarious. Absolutely hilarious that the only thing standing in the way of the career slam for both of them is each other's strongest surface. Like, I don't know if Carlos, well, I'm sure he will. Surely at some point Carlos will beat Jannik in Australia, same way that Jannik almost already beat Carlos in Roland Garros, but, you know, we'll see. All right, but nonetheless, Sinner wins in 4. It was a great match. Not as great as the French Open, which was obviously one of the greatest of all time, but still another classic and one of the, hopefully, many we get from these two over the course of the years. It was some beautiful tennis, especially those first 2 sets. It was some absolutely beautiful tennis from both of them. And yeah, Sinner finally gets one on Carlos. He was due, though. All right, like I said, Carlos, it can't be a rivalry, you know what I mean? There has to be balance. Carlos can't win all of the time, right? Sinner has to beat him, right? For them to be the rivalry, for them to be the big two, the new two, Sinner's got to beat him. So it was good to see, honestly, even though I'm a Carlitos favor. I'm a fan of Carlos, even though I rock with Jannik as well. Sinner had to win this. You know, he had to win this for the rivalry, for the sport, in a way. So, yeah, good stuff from Jannik. Congrats on another Grand Slam. They are going to rack it up until somebody proves that they can join the fray. Because Novak, I'm not going to lie, it's looking like it's over. All right, I'm not going to lie. That match versus Sinner was the first time I was like, yeah, Joker, I don't know if he's got it anymore. All right, I don't know. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, Iga Swiatek is back. All right, if you didn't know, now you know. A double bagel on Amanda Anisimova. It was brutal. It was brutal. Iga put belt to, simply put, BTA. Not since 1988 has a women's final gone 6-0, 6-0. Since Steffi Graf beat somebody in 37 minutes. This was not too far off. But yeah, Iga just destroyed her. Completely destroyed her. Made Amanda look like she was not supposed to be there. It was a clinical performance. An absolute clinical performance, and Iga needed that. After everything that's happened the past couple months, and her kind of like falling from, you know, her crown as queen currently of the new gen, it was needed. She kind of exercised some demons, I felt like, in this tournament, winning here on grass, and, you know, proving she's not just a clay merchant. So, yeah, Iga's back, all right? Iga is back. U.S. Open season is going to be fun, man. Hardcourt season this year is going to be a lot of fun with kind of coming out. Can Carlos now rise to the occasion now that he's firmly, for the first time maybe, on the back foot here? Jannik's almost caught up to him in Grand Slams. He just beat him. Now, Can he take Sinner's reigning title at the U.S. Open away from him? We'll see. All right. Does he have that magic he had in 2022? Is Iga back? Coco, got to get her get back. A lot of upsets for the women. Can we see those girls that were in contention this time? Can they stay there, or will the ranked players take back what is theirs at the U.S. Open? We will see. All right, but yeah, Wimbledon was a lot of fun. My personal favorites of the big four, but yeah, a lot of fun at Wimbledon. We'll see y'all next year for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and with all of that said, we have reached the roundup. And yes, let's get to things at hand. We're talking MLB, all right? We're talking baseball. Even though I am wearing the Yankees and Aaron Judge is still in that Triple Crown race, once again, Cal Raleigh is having one of the craziest seasons, the craziest actually, in terms of power hitting for a catcher we have ever seen. Not even the great Mike Piazza was doing what Cal Raleigh is doing to the baseball. All right, very few people in human history are doing what Cal Raleigh is doing to baseballs this season. Okay? And honestly, it's a shame. And I feel like this is a recurring theme with AJ, with Judge. Some player is having this incredible, never before seen, or haven't been done in a long time season. And then you just have Aaron Judge having this absolutely mutated, monstrous, whatever you want to call what he's doing, right? Raleigh every other year, MVP, no question. But then you have this monster, descendant from Krypton, hitting 360 with 35 home runs and almost leading, one away from leading the league in RBIs. Like, it's ridiculous. It's a spoiled, all right, AL MVP race, even though it's not really much of a race because Judge is just ridiculous. But Cal Raleigh, all right, 38 home runs at the All-Star break. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Well on pace to break the record for the AL, which of course is held by Judge, 62. But we will see. All right, we will see. I expect him to cool down a little bit, but 38 in the first half. Nearly a 40 ball. In a good position. I also would favor him in the home run cut derby, which will probably be when you're watching this, or maybe has happened, all right, once you've watched this. But yeah, going to be very interesting. But yeah, Cal Raleigh, one hell of a first half. Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. What else is there to say? All right. MLB draft was going on literally right now. All right, first round's still going on right now. Of course, I film on Sundays, so that is what's happening now. And it is just as wild as you would expect. Okay, the MLB draft is not like the NHL draft. It's not like the NBA draft. It's definitely not like the NFL draft, right? No. It is wild. All right, it is always wild. Unless there's like a top three where it's like Skeens and Cruz that one year. Like, it's never normal. It's just never, ever normal. And even though Ethan Holiday and Cade Anderson were the pretty clear-cut two top prospects in this class, it still got wild. All right? The Washington Nationals have the number one overall pick. They go with Eli Willis. Not a bad pick. He is the youngest player in the draft at 17. He reclassed up. Lots of like there. Not the biggest upside, but again, he's only 17, so there's definitely some potential to work with, and he's an advanced hitter at a very young age. So we'll see. All right, could be a good pick there for the Nationals. He wasn't too crazy. What the Los Angeles Angels, who continue, like besides SEMO, they refuse to pick normal. They have, I wonder what goes into the mind of the Angels, scouting department, because they just don't. They say F your chalk. Like, we're gonna go out and find whoever we like, and then we're just gonna go, and it's a random decision every single time. Tyler Brenner is not a bad pitching prospect. Number 2 is kind of crazy. With Cade, Liam Doyle, Jamie Arnold, Seth Hernandez, like all these guys still on the board, and you went Tyler Brenner? I don't know about that one. Great story for Tyler, but I don't know about that pick for number 2. We'll see, though. MLB draft, like I've said, it's an intro. This can be a crapshoot. It can be. It can be a little bit random in terms of results. So maybe this works out for the Angels. But yeah, it's an interesting choice, especially with Cade Anderson getting to go to the Mariners in the pick after. Like, I don't know. Cade, of course, most outstanding player at the College World Series. Big reason why LSU won the title. Led the NCAA in strikeouts. He is the top pitching prospect in the draft, and he goes at 3. So Mariners, who've been bulking up with a lot of great pitching prospects, have to be excited about that one. I know Colorado Rockies were excited to get Ethan Holiday. All right. So we don't get the brothers going number one, but we do get Ethan going where his dad was so famously a star in Colorado. And yeah, the Rockies fans were, I mean, that was the dream scenario, was being able to get Ethan there. So yeah, great pickup there. Other things that I liked in that top 10, Seth Hernandez going to Pittsburgh. Corona High School, by the way, all-time draft class for a high school. All right, 4 guys that could go day one is crazy. 2 of them have already been picked. But yeah, Seth Hernandez goes here at 6 to the Pirates, who of course already have Bubba. They already have the best pitcher in the world currently in Paul Skeens. So yeah, if for some reason Skeens is still there, but certainly Bubba and Seth, that could be a lethal 1-2. Once Seth gets there, I like Hernandez as a prospect. Of course, he was Gatorade National Player of the Year. He's got the most potential, the most upside of any pitcher, including Cade, in this draft class. So yeah, if Pittsburgh cooks the way they've been cooking with pitching prospects lately, this could be an absolute home run of a pick. An absolute home run of a pick. I love it for the Pirates. Ivia Arquette to Miami, I love as well. I feel like his play style, I feel like he just fits with the Marlins. I don't know why. He's a great player, by the way. Great power hitter. Had a great season at Oregon State. Big shortstop. I like the fit. I don't know. It just works. It's one of those aesthetic, I don't know, or whatever you want to call it. It just fits. Double-A in Miami. We'll see how that goes. And Billy Carlson, also loved him as a prospect. Probably, depending on how you felt about Willits, maybe the second or third best high school position player in this draft. Also Corona's, high school with Seth. He goes to the White Sox. They need it. They need Carlson to hit. I think Carlson's going to hit. I really like his hit tool, and I think he should become a really good player in due time, but we will see. MLB draft, wild. All right, wild. And to end us off, the Club World Cup has come to a conclusion, and Chelsea are world champs. I guess that's what we can call them. But yeah, Chelsea manages to pull off the upset here against PSG, who was looking darn near unstoppable, but PSG gets it done 3-0. Smoked them. The same way that PSG put the belt on Real Madrid last week, Chelsea put the belt on them. All right, it was the worst PSG has looked in a long, long time. A long, long time. Cole Palmer was the guy. 2 goals for him in this game. Joao Pedro was also great. And then he took a hand to the face. Don't know what to call it. Luis Enrique lost his head during the scuffle after the match, which was just really the entire after the match was just messy. It was just messy. The scuffle, Enrique hitting Pedro, then whatever the hell Trump was trying to do. I think he was just deluded, which is his normal state, where he thought that he was supposed to be on stage to hold up the trophy with Chelsea, which makes no fucking sense, but is completely in character for him. Palmer was like, why is this dude on the stage? And so was everybody else. But yeah, Trump deluded, Enrique lost his plot, and Cole Palmer still that guy. So, yeah, Chelsea looked really, really good. It looked really, really, really good. I ain't saying they contended for the Prem yet, but they looked very, very good. That Casiedo Enzo midfield was cooking. All right, they were cooking. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 258. Without further ado, Ocho signing off.